Welcome to myeyecademy.com. I'm Professor Mahfooz from Pakistan. You can access through YouTube channel or www.myeyecademy.com. I'm going to present one color corneal drawing system with the help of which we'll be able to draw the corneal and anterior segment lesions with only one color. We have been using 4 different color pencils or pens in our clinics for many years, and hopefully this will replace that 4 color system and it will be more practical. Plan of the talk is how to draw the templates, common corneal conditions, anterior segment conditions, drawing iris and pupil, ocular surface and lid drawings, normal pathologies like keratoconus, keratoplasty, refractive surgery, and VKC, and corneal degenerations and dystrophies. So we'll do them one by one. First of all, how to draw the templates. So the cornea is drawn like a roundish, and iris is drawn with a circle with 4 radial spokes. So if you have got 4 radial spokes, that means we are drawing iris, and the round circle means cornea. Now, how to measure a corneal lesion? For the purpose of measurement, we assume that the cornea is 12 mm like this and 12 mm like this. So with 2 lines like this and 2 lines horizontal, we divide cornea into 9 segments, and each segment is roughly 4 mm. Then the place where the lesion is, you draw the 2 lines, and then this is the section of the cornea. So you can draw a section of the cornea like this. Now, how you measure it? Now, how to measure a corneal lesion? Well, this one is a corneal ulcer, and this is the central square. So this ulcer is covering 3 parts of this square and 2 parts of this square. So 3 plus 2, this lesion is, or this ulcer is 5 mm vertically. Then horizontally is covering 3 parts of this square and 2 parts of this square. So this is 5 mm horizontally as well. So this corneal ulcer is roughly 5 mm horizontal and 5 mm vertical. That's how you roughly measure a corneal lesion in this system. And this is how you draw the templates for the anterior chamber, for the dorsal conjunctiva, and the bulbar conjunctiva over here. And now these are the conditions which we are gonna describe in the next few slides. These are all epithelial lesions, these are all stromal lesions, and these are all endothelial lesions. Let's see them one by one. First of all, the common epithelial lesions. First one is epithelial defect. You draw it like this, and if it is an ulcer, you draw it and then fill it with the same color so to note that this is an ulcer. Then the bottom 4 are corneal scarring. If you have got mild scar, just one direction lines, horizontal lines, slightly more dense, put the vertical ones, more dense, 75% scar, one cross, and more dense, second cross. So that's how you denote the density of the scar. Next is the fine punctate lesions, just the dots. A bit bigger dots is a coarse punctate staining, like a figure of 6, that's filaments. And then the superficial blood vessels are wavy and the deep blood vessels are straight, because the deep blood vessels are straight on the cornea and superficial ones are wavy. Then epithelial bullae like a small flowers, and small little circles, more than one, is epithelial edema. And now the common stromal lesions. First of all, descendant membrane folds like a wavy vertical lines. Then the stromal edema is just the cross lines, and we have already described the corneal scar according to increasing density. And now the corneal thinning. You draw the shape of the corneal thinning with one radial line, that means 25% thinning. If you've got 50% thinning, you draw 2 lines, 3 lines 75% thinning, and this one is 25% corneoscleral thinning. And if you've got a desmetocele, you draw the area with the vertical line which makes a D, and D stands for desmetocele. Next one is corneal ulcer with thinning and blood vessels. So first you just draw the ulcer. Then if you have drawn the ulcer with one line, that means 25% stromal thinning, 2 lines 50% thinning, 3 lines 75% thinning, and this is corneal ulcer with 50% thinning and corneal blood vessels growing into the cornea, secondary to corneal ulcer. And this is how you draw the corneal perforation. And now the endothelial lesions. You write the gattata like this. So first part of the G is taken here, and this is for denoting cornea gattata. P is like this, and this part of the P is for the pigment, and this part of the K is for the KPs or keratic precipitates. And now is the anterior segment. Horizontal line means hypopyon, while the horizontal and vertical lines mean hyphema. And vertical and wavy horizontal line means clot. And you can further elaborate it. So if you have got just one line, that means 1 millimeter hypopyon. If you have got 3 lines, that means 3 millimeter hypopyon. And you can also describe it in a vertical section: 1 millimeter hypopyon, 1 millimeter hyphema. And then the cells and the flare. So you put small little dots in the anterior chamber, and 3, that means plus 3 cells. And you've got the horizontal lines with number 2, that means plus 2 flare in the anterior chamber. And now we come to the iris and pupil. So 4 radial spokes are for the iris and 4 circular spokes are for the pupil. That's how you draw them. Now this one is pupil, and crosses here means posterior synecdoche and crosses here means anterior synecdoche. And this one, radial spokes on the pupil, means pseudoexfoliation. Now this one is iris with the pupil. This is iris atrophy. These ones are the iris cyst. This triangular one is the PI in the iris, and this cross one is iris incarcerated into the corneal wound. And these, the first part of the N is the iris new vessels. So you just make them iris new vessels like this. If they are at the margin, or if they are at the periphery, you make them like this here. And now is the teresium. This is 1 millimeter teresium. If you have got 2 millimeter, you put the 2 lines on the arrowhead, and if you have got a 3 millimeter, you draw the 3 lines on the arrowhead and complete the arrowhead to make it 3 millimeter teresium. And now the conjunctival lesions. This part of the P is for the papillae, and this part of the F is for the follicles. So if you do it like this, that will make it F. So that's the mnemonic for the follicles and papillae. Then the crosses are for the congestion, and conjunctival cord staining is you just draw it like you draw the corneal staining. And this one is for the Dellen. So this one is raised from here, and then it's causing corneal thinning. So that is for the Dellen with corneal thinning. And this one here is for the bleb. Now the lid, the mebomitis, you draw the lid and the small little circles over here. So that's the mebomitis. And if you draw the wavy lines like this one, that's blepharitis. And now the common corneal conditions like keratoconus, keratoplasty, sutures, refractive surgery, and cataract and VKC. This one, like a smiley face, is for the keratoconus, and smiley face with horizontal lines and vertical lines for Watt-Stry and Hab-Stry. And now about the keratoplasty. This one has got one arrow, and that is for the DMAC, because for the DMAC you have got one main entry port. This one is for the DSAC with two arrows, because we have got two main entry ports for the DSAC. And for the DALC you have got two circles, which means some part of the cornea is recipient and some part of the cornea is donor's cornea. Then circle with the radial spokes is for the penetrating keratoplasty, and these ones are the cataract sutures. Then a very interesting slide about the refractive surgery. If you have done the refractive laser surgery, just draw a plus sign, and if you have done the CXL, you just draw a cross in the center. That means the CXL has been done. Then is the VKC. This one is for the limbitis, and these flower-like structures are for the giant papillae. This is for the papillae, and this is for the follicle. Degeneration and dystrophies. There are no special signs in this system for the degeneration and dystrophies, because dystrophies are not common and can be noted with the names, and same as the degeneration are not very important and can be noted if needed. Thank you very much for being with me, and please do give your feedback. Thank you.